If you like hop waters, stay tuned because I'm reviewing a new one this week from Old Irving, and it's phenomenal. This is Beer in Front, part of the Beer Media Group. Every week I'll talk to people in and around the beer world and get their stories all about beer. That's Beer in Front, and it's coming up now. Welcome to episode 266 of Beer in Front. I'm your host, Dave Zalatoris, and Beer in Front is a charter member of the Beer Media Group. This week, I'm talking to Trent Modulin from Illinois Brewing Magazine. We're going to discuss the summer 2025 edition. That's available right now at your finer breweries, bottle shops, all over the great state of Illinois. You could check that out now. That's well worth reading. Another reason why you should be picking this up, and I'm sure if you're like me, you're known amongst your circle of friends as the beer person. You get random text messages. Hey, Dave, I'm by so-and-so. Is there any good breweries around? Well, if you had Illinois Brewing Magazine in your back pocket, you would know exactly what's around. Now, I don't answer the question like that, which I should. But if you have the magazine, they list all of the breweries in our great state. So no matter where you are, you could look and find a brewery near you. So definitely check that out. Still got a couple lingering effects of this summer cold. It's almost gone. So hopefully my voice is sounding more normal this week than it did on last week's show. If you didn't catch last week's show, Rod J from Rod J Beer Ventures and myself, we're teaming up for the Midwest Beer Show. That's going to be every other Friday at 8:45 p.m. Central Time over on our YouTube channels. So you could check that out. The next edition is going to be this coming Friday, the 8th. We're going to talk all about beer news that's happening in the great Midwest here. If there's other things happening, big news beer-wise, we'll definitely touch on that. So if you're around on Friday nights, definitely check it out on either one of our YouTube channels, or you could always catch the replay whenever you have time. So be on the lookout for that. Had a couple boxes arrive in the mail today. I'm recording this on Saturday night, August 2nd. I had the first package arrived from Brian over at 3-1 Pour. He sent a Mill Pond beer made with Little Lager. It's a collaboration that's aged in Malort barrels. Well, I'm going to have to try this. He also included some treats for Moira Rose, so thank you to Brian for that. I'll be having the beer on the show a little bit later. Also, Firestone Walker was kind enough to send over a variety mix pack of their IPAs. So I'm going to be doing videos and talking about that on an upcoming episode. Usually like 99% of the beers I get for the show, I pay for. But I do want to be upfront that they sent this over to me. I'm under no obligation to say the beer's great or if the beer is bad, but I've had one of them and the beer is great. So I'm assuming the other three are going to be as good, but I do want to be upfront like, hey, these were given to me by the brewery and, I'm going to give you an honest review. If I don't think it's that good, I'm going to say so, but I'm keeping my fingers crossed because everything I've had from Firestone Walker has been phenomenal. So I'm assuming the other three of these that I'm going to try are going to be just as good. Next month, September, is Craft Malt Month, and I'm working on an episode on that about the great maltsters that we have here in the United States. So look for that coming out in a couple of weeks. Hoping to have someone from the malt industry come on. We're going to talk about Craft Malt Month, talk about their malt house, and hopefully get to try a beer that's made with the malt that this company produces. So keep an eye out for that. That should be happening by September 1st because that's Craft Malt Month. So I want to get this done late August, so that'll be coming up soon as well. If you don't follow me on social media, on TikTok, Instagram, all that, be sure to do so. I'm cleaning out my hard drive here. I got a lot of videos that I just record and I forget about them. So I'm going to be pumping out videos every day. Hopefully some of these beers are still around, because some of these ones I recorded are about 6 months old. But there's going to be a lot of new videos coming out in the next few weeks, because I'm cleaning this hard drive out. If you go to Costco, I happened to be there not that long ago, last week, and I forgot to mention it. They have Bell's Oberon, $15 a case. That's right, a case of Oberon for $15. I checked the date, because sometimes you got to be worried about that. The date was like October 17th, so the beer is definitely fresh. So I'm not sure if it's at all the Costco's, but it's at the one on Clybourne in the city of Chicago. If you're a fan of Bell's Oberon, $15 in the cart. In beer and beverage news, if you were looking for a can of Celsius, which is an energy drink, some cans of the Astro Vibe were filled with High Noon vodka seltzer instead. Now, from what I was reading, the supplier sent cans of Celsius to High Noon, and it was filled and put into a variety pack. So it's not like the Celsius cans were put on the market and they had liquor in it, but still it's kind of embarrassing for both High Noon and Celsius. So if you see an Astro Vibe can that has a silver lid instead of the black lid, that's got a little booze in it. Sad news out of California. Three Weavers is filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. I feel bad about this. Three Weavers started 10 years ago, maybe a little bit longer than that. I was an original investor. They had what was not GoFund, maybe it was GoFundMe, but one of those types of things. So I was an original investor. Now, I didn't invest a lot. I got a hat out of the deal, which is no longer, but Three Weavers out of California, they filed for Chapter 11. Sierra Nevada announced the launch of a co-packing operation. It's going to be called Can Do, and this is going to be producing premium adult beverages. It's going to be at the Chico location for Sierra Nevada. So this kind of looks cool, where it's going to offer manufacturing and packaging for, partners. So this kind of looks cool. So look for that from Sierra Nevada. There was an article over on VinePair last week about Untapped and their highest rated breweries. Most of them are meaderies. So it was kind of an interesting article. So head over to VinePair to check that out. But getting back to Illinois, Second City Meadery, which I had on the show a couple years back, and I thought they were really good. I drive by it on my way to work, and I happened to see a for lease sign up on their window. So that doesn't look good for Second City, but I thought their stuff was really good. Interesting article over on the Brewers Association website about the big, beautiful bill and challenges that consumers and breweries might have to face, is that there's going to be a lot of cutbacks and, money that's would have gone to like health insurance. Now we're going to go towards maybe tax increases, sin tax increases, which is usually alcohol and tobacco, gambling, things like that. So we might start seeing more sin taxes when we're purchasing beer. I always mispronounce this brewery's name. Is it Umagang? Is it Omegang? But the legendary Cooperstown Brewery, which I've been to, and it was one of the best breweries I've ever been to. Phenomenal spot. They're coming out with a non-alcoholic beer. This is going to be a Belgian-style blonde, so look for that near you from the brewery in Cooperstown, whose name I always mispronounce. Coors Light and Dura-Dry, which is a deodorant company, are coming out with Dura-Chill. Now, this is deodorant that is in collaboration with Coors Light. So the label has the Blue Mountain. So I guess you put the deodorant in the refrigerator, and when the mountain turns blue, it's at a good temperature to put under your arms to keep you cool. If you want to go to Miller Lite's website, you could pick it up. I think it's like $15 for the thing of deodorant. So I don't know, maybe you could just put your regular deodorant in the fridge as well, or just use it like it's intended. But Coors Light and Dura-Chill are coming out with the new deodorants. Fat Tire. Now, they have a contest between now and the end of September where they're going to give you $100,000. You have to answer the question. So it's one question. And the question is, if given a year off and $100,000, how would you flip the script? Come up with a good idea. They will give you $100,000 if you win. Also, second place winners will get a year's supply of Fat Tire. If you're interested in this, you could head over to fattire.com. They have something on their contest page where you could take the year off and get $100,000. I don't know anything about buzz balls outside of I've seen them around. They're like ball-shaped containers filled with liquor and a lot of it. And they're pretty popular, but they came out with a pool that is shaped like a buzz ball container. It's like an individual pool, 6 feet deep, has a little ladder on it. The retail price, it was valued at over $3,000. They were selling some for $20 and it sold out right away. But I don't know if they'll ever put them back. But if you're interested in getting a pool that looks like a buzzball container, you could head over to pool.buzzballs.com for more information. Illinois Brewing Magazine is a quarterly publication that features the finest in craft beer in our great state. Produced by Venture Forth Media and sponsored by the Illinois Craft Brewers Guild, each issue is filled with everything you know about Illinois breweries. The summer 2025 edition is at your favorite establishment as we speak. Joining me again today is Trent Modglin, the publisher of Illinois Brewing Magazine. Trent, thanks for coming back on.
Hey, glad to be with you again. And you know what? A few extra opportunities to talk about Illinois beer and crack one. I'm all for. It's okay.
Yeah, I see you sipping on one. What are you sipping on right now?
Well, I just finished I tell you, a couple little trends that I can get behind are these Oktoberfest being tapped in July. And I was like, I know we've talked about Kishwaukee Brewing doing theirs year round and a few others that do their Marsens year round. And I'm all for it. So I just finished an Unane, their Oktoberfest. I've had Moore's. I was out at Moore and Huntley last weekend and had theirs as well. And but today I've got good old reliable, the Beezer from older, fresh one too. I believe it was pretty new. So I'm excited about that. I always like the double and triple Beezers as well.
I was at the Jewel today, just had to stop for something, and I see they had the Sam Adams Oktoberfest and a couple of others. I'm like, it's still 95 degrees outside. I'm going to wait a couple weeks before I bust open the Oktoberfest beers.
I tell you what, we had our neighborhood block party on Saturday, and we grabbed I guess technically it's a quarter barrel, a half keg of Oktoberfest, and nobody was complaining. It was going down pretty easy because it was just that, perfect weather for it. And we had some other beer on the side, of course, too. But these Mexican lagers, Dave, I'm telling you, the Mexican lagers would, they've got a little bit of lime and salt infused. I think I mentioned it before to you, but there's a Frogger Hellas Lager from Flipside, down in Tinley Park, and Sand in My Boots is a good one from Reserve Artisan Ales, and then La Cucalaga from Microphone, and all of them, it's just the right amount of lime A couple of those that I mentioned have, a hint of salt as well, and it's delightful on
Yeah.
especially when you can smuggle them on the golf course like I
Oh
do.
yeah, get a little corn in that. That's good. Well, I'm gonna
Sure.
go a little heavier right now. I'm gonna do the strawberry jacket from Rev at the Deepwood series because everything that they put out a couple weeks ago has been fantastic. So I figure I'll have the strawberry jacket while I'm talking to you. As I'm pouring this, congrats on the summer issue. I mean, it's one of the best ones yet. How do you sleep, man? Putting all this stuff out.
Well, it's about replenishing time now. This magazine's been out, for what, a little over a month, and so now a lot of the breweries are getting low, and boy, they get gobbled up, and it makes me glad. I mean, Brian Hertel, my art director, does a great job, and as you mentioned, sponsored by the Craft Brewers Guild here in Illinois, so it's nice to have their support. And when breweries, put it in the right spots, it goes quick. I think we've added about between 500 and 1,000 to our circulation with every issue in 3 years. So growing like crazy, and it's been a lot of fun. It's a great community to be part of too. This industry is so supportive of each other, and they not only. I think that's one of the big misconceptions. If I can speak, this is only my second beer. Misconceptions, but if I, it's amazing how supportive the industry is of each other. I thought it was going to be a little bit of a cutthroat. Everybody's out for themselves. It's a saturated market, whatever. And it's the opposite. Everybody's, having beers at each other's establishments. They're collaborating on different brews and really enjoying each other, at different events and things like that. And it's a true fraternity, and it's kind of enlightening to see.
Yeah, it's one thing that I noticed. Yeah, and nobody's out to like stab each other in the back. It's that rising tide lifts all boats. Everybody,
Yeah.
whether it's helping if they need something with equipment or anything else, everyone seems to be there for each other, which is really cool.
Yeah, there you go for your YouTube folks.
Yeah.
Uncover
Harry Cow right there from
Harry,
Byron, Illinois.
Harry Cow, Byron, rural Byron, Illinois. It's awesome spot on the Rock River. Great handmade pizzas and some great brews, and you can sit there and watch the river flow by and life flow by. It's a great spot.
Yeah. Now, what can people expect in the summer edition?
We've got the feature spotlights we did. Harry Cow, you mentioned in Byron, Brothership Brewing in North Aurora, award winner. They just they great little spot there, and they are actually expanding to the D&G space in St. Charles. For anybody who knows the St. Charles, they're going to be the 6th brewery again in St. Charles. So that'll be a second location late this year, I believe, late fall. Harbor Brewing, we did a feature on them. They're in Lake County. Lake Villa is their original brewery, and they've got a very, very underrated spot in Winthrop Harbor, tap room, beer garden. And as I mentioned, it's a great spot to watch the boats that we can't afford roll in and out, sail in and out, and it's just a gorgeous location. There's a forest preserve all around it, some great hiking spots and things like that. That's a really neat one. We also did a feature on the beer garden at Independence Grove in Libertyville, neat little spot, and then Wrigleyville. Some hidden gems. Everybody knows Dovetail McGuile, Hop Butcher as they should, but Quarter Brewing, Good Times Brewing, Greenbush, and also, I'm sorry, Burning Bush.
Yeah, Greenbush. That's a little outside of Wrigleyville up in
Greenbush is in Michigan.
Michigan,
yeah. But but Burning Bush is a great one. It's not technically Wrigleyville, so we'll say near Wrigley. It's down Irving Park, but it's a neat spot on the north branch of the Chicago River. So they've got a lot of good things going on, great event space and things like that. So basically, if you're going to a Cubs game, you're looking for a fun little out of the way brewery, but still very, very close. We nailed 4 of them for you. And they just, it's, if you need help finding a good beer around Wrigley, we've got you. Most people don't have trouble finding a beer around Wrigley, but finding good craft beer in little, great hidden spots and craft breweries. That was a nice feature too. And we also hit up on the Oak Park Microbrew Review. That's in our Inside Scoop section. It's coming up August 16th. It's the Midwest's largest no waste beer festival, and they take great pride in that. It's a great event, downtown Oak Park, August 16th. The Tinley Park Ale Trail, if you find yourself down in the south suburbs, every Wednesday they got a free trolley that takes you around to all, I believe there's 7 or 8 distilleries, 5 breweries, a couple distilleries, a couple wineries. And then we did a feature on Lake Effect, in which we may be visiting again soon with you, They got a new tap room and patio on Chicago's far northwest side.
Yeah, we're talking, but when we talked a couple weeks ago, you also have one because you're out in the Park Ridge area. You're going to have a new brewery in your neighborhood coming up soon.
Very excited. In fact, I had a couple cans. In fact, I was debating between a Czech 1-2 from Microphone and this beer I have here from Old Irving, the Beezer. But very excited to have Mike Powell and his crew expanding with the second location. They're taking over a space walking distance from my house, which could be a little troubling for me and my pocketbook, but it's a neat little spot. And so they're going to be opening up. They're going to have burgers and sandwiches, and kind of a small tap room. They're going to do some small batch stuff, and still Elk Grove will keep rolling along. But this is their second location, and so it's very exciting for the folks around here for sure. I'll tell you, there's a lot of a lot of people are opening second and third location. You look at Black Lung. They're going to be opening a third location in Grays Lake, probably by the end of the year as well. And there's a few others I'm forgetting about, but it's for all the talk about being saturated and everybody's kind of fighting for what's theirs and tariffs and everything else, there's some expansion happening in Illinois. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I mean, that's good. I mean, I love seeing that about Microphone. Their original location, it's still like you're trying to like get there on your GPS. It's just like, where do we go in here? Like you see it on the highway and it's just like, how the hell do you get there?
You can hit a 9-iron to 90.
Yeah.
But it takes 8 minutes to get to 90, but that's, so many of the good breweries are in industrial parks. It allows them, why is it? And well, it's pretty easy when you think about, how tall the ceilings are and the space, and, those tanks aren't meant for broom closets,
Yeah. And plus, for like parking, generally you get everybody there after 5 o'clock. So you don't have to worry about like parking during the day. So yeah, it's just a win-win for everybody.
That's true. Yeah. One of the other, speaking of parking and lack of parking, downtown Chicago is always the big attraction in the summer. One of our big features in this issue was the Breweries and Bunches we did on the Chicago Loop. And everybody always thinks of, North Side and Malt Row and now Logan Square, obviously, and things like that. But boy, downtown has, it used to be kind of a desert in terms of a barren wasteland for craft beer, especially for breweries anyway. And now there's, this quartet of great spots. You got Adam Street on the historic Berghoff. Crushed by Giants is on Michigan Avenue. That's owned by the same group that has Corridor Brewing and Dry Hop.
Dry Hop, yeah.
On the north side. You've got Industrials. If you haven't been to Industrials yet, their food is phenomenal. There's 3 guys that went together on it. They're all from the the entertainment restaurant industry, the hospitality industry, and they're doing great beer, great food. It's right in the middle of the loop, right underneath the L. Great, and even specials. I mean, they've got some great happy hour specials, daily deals, and things like that. And then, not to be forgotten, Double Clutch. Double Clutch Brewery up in Evanston, they've got a really cool. The owners have a huge car collection. They cycle in 10 or 12 cars every month that you can sit right next to while you're having a beer and a pulled pork sandwich. Well, they operate the Millennium Park Beer Garden. And so if you're familiar with Millennium Park and right underneath the bean where you can ice skate in the wintertime, that ice skating rink becomes the largest beer garden in Chicago. And Double Clutch operates that. They serve some great food and a lot of German beer out of that location. So there's 4 great spots, whether you're, downtown for work or you want to meet some friends for happy hour, coworkers or whatever, or you're, like my family does, we play tours for a day. I lived in the city for 20 years. I'm not that far out now, but I like getting back, and it's nice to know that there's 4 really good spots, and all of them have really good food too.
Before we get any farther, this strawberry jacket from Revolution is just spectacular. I did a video on it that I haven't posted yet. I've got a backlog of videos, but God, the strawberry in this is just, it hits you all the way through. Marty and the team at Rev just continue to knock it out of the park with their barrel age series. And it's, we were talking, it's in the 90s. So you're not used to having barrel age in the 90s, but this is good.
I'll tell you what, you crank that air conditioner 9:00 at night, nobody knows the difference.
Yeah.
It feels like November.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, that's just phenomenal. Like you mentioned food. So like, what is if you had to pick, like what brewery, and I know it's hard, I'm putting you on the spot, what would be like the one meal you would get at a brewery? Like if you were starving, your desert island, I want to have this for a brewery, what are you grabbing?
Yeah. If you, so I want to hold this up for the viewers on YouTube.
Yeah.
This is our spring issue. And it's funny you asked that because in our spring issue, our last call section, which is like sidewalk interviews. So for the summer, we have what's the most underrated outdoor spot to have a beer in the summer. We'll get to that in a second. In the last call section in our spring issue, we did what is the best meal you've had recently at an Illinois brewery? And as you can see on the front here, Open Outcry Brewing on Chicago's South Side has their awesome fried chicken sliders. But we have a huge section on everybody, readers, industry types, brewers. They all chimed in, and we have probably about 20 or 25 brewery meals. And the one I'll say the brewery, and then the meal second. But the brewery that routinely was mentioned the most was Old Irving on Montrose in Chicago, and just the the care that they take, and Trevor and the guys, like there's just, I mean, every week there's different spot. I mean, a Spanish squid. You don't expect to see Spanish octopus on a brewery menu, and they the burger of the week, and if you haven't had the mac and cheese with bacon crumbles, and just they go above and beyond. But I would say the meal has to be, in my mind, it's just like it's either smoked wings or a smash burger. I'm a pizza guy too, so if you haven't been, Crust Brewery in Rosemont does a great job with their pizza. But man, when you can get your hands on a like the good smash burger with some Parmesan fries or something like that, or like I mentioned, it's just smoked wings. Oh, Half Day up in Lincolnshire, they do a really good job with their smoked wings. Trying to think who else. Crust has really good Parmesan wings, but boy, yeah, just eat. The one thing I've learned as I've pushed into my 40s is like it's good. Have a medium sized meal. Save room, because when you're done, you want to have another beer or two. I'm not drinking light lagers or pilsners all the time, so you got to realize, like, save a little space and go home comfortable.
Yeah. Talking about Old Irving, and I went there to talk to Trevor a couple months ago, and this was on a Monday, and he's like, "Oh, you picked the right day, because this is the day we try out new burgers." So it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't eat for the rest of for 2 days after that with all like the new burgers they were coming out with. But yeah, I agree. I mean, everything I've had from them is good. He talked about the squid, and he's like, that's a loss leader for us, but it's something that we could have. You take a little hit on that, you're going to make it up somewhere else. But yeah, their food is phenomenal. It's as good as their beer, and that's saying a lot.
Yeah, there's so many really underrated spots to eat, and even if the breweries that don't serve food, they always people are taking a lot of time to pick their right food trucks that represent their brewery too. So if keep an eye on most of the as most folks out there know, you keep track of social media and you see what kind of food trucks are rolling in, and if you see Cousins Maine Lobster, run toward whatever brewery they're at.
Yeah, there's one that actually parks on the street with burning bush. So that must be where they park their truck every night on
Oh, I know. Yeah.
yeah, I can't think of the street now, so
I don't
I'm
know.
gonna
I get it.
edit
Yeah.
this. But yeah, it's like, oh, this truck is cool. Like they should be just pulling up every weekend right here at Burning Bush. So I know I want to.
Rockwell.
Yeah,
There
it's
you go.
right on Rockwell. They parked the truck, and it's like a Mexican truck. I don't know if it's not empanadas, it's not tamales, but it's like, oh yeah, pull this up. I'm all over this.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, what do you got coming up for the fall issue? I know we got like Oktoberfest coming up. We mentioned a little of that earlier. What's coming up for the autumn issue?
Well, speaking of microphone, we got a big Q&A coming up with Mike Palin from Microphone about his second location, and we're going to do a big feature on the aforementioned expansion. Maplewood in Chicago doubled the size of their tap room. They've got a kitchen now, and Brothership moved into D&G. I mentioned Grays Lake. There's a few I'm forgetting, but we got a big feature on like some of the best appetizers that you can snag, most creative, unique appetizers in Illinois breweries. And we've got a bunch of good features, but Oktoberfest is going to take up a big chunk of the magazine. And we're probably going to do another digital Oktoberfest section that people can download. And it gives you all the great details on everybody's events, starting from, late August through October. Everybody does a great job at the different breweries, and I don't know how many German Oompa bands, I think it's like the Irish dancers, the
Yeah.
girls dance and around
The
St.
Trinity
Patrick's Day.
dancers. Yeah, you see them
The
everywhere.
Trinity Irish dancers, like
Yeah.
they all work so hard for 2 or 3 weeks. Irish dancers for 2 or 3 days a year, and the Oompa, German bands. It's like how many Oktoberfest bands are out there, and they're booked for a month straight. So, but yeah, look forward to a lot of great Oktoberfest stuff. And we've also got branching away from beer a little bit. We're gonna have a feature on Whiskey Acres,
Okay.
great distillery out in DeKalb, Illinois, on a family farm, and almost all of their ingredients are directly from the family farm that they distill at. So it's a neat spot, and they're on the back cover of the summer issue. You can see more about them, but we'll have a feature on them. They're a proud sponsor.
I happen to have the summer issue right in
There you
front of me
go.
here. What do you know?
That bottled and bond bourbon from Whiskey Acres, I'm telling you, that's a game changer. It's very good, and they collaborate with a lot of breweries too. They send a lot of their spent barrels for barrel aging process at different breweries, and so they're a tight knit group, and they're at a lot of events and pouring a lot of their samples. So even though they're technically a distillery, they're very active in the Illinois Craft Brewers Guild.
Yeah, and God, I'm just thinking you could hit that. You can go to Imbedin. You can go to that great butcher shop out there near DeKalb, and
Imboden's.
yeah, I just need to
Oh,
get
yeah.
need to get a new like Yeti cooler and just load up on everything. Make a day trip over there on a weekend.
Yeah, and those, like I mentioned, everybody in St. Charles, 93 Octane, Alter, Riverlands, Pollyanna, they're all, in St. Charles. That's right down the road too. So, yeah, it's a good collection. It's fun when these suburbs, and I spent 20 years living in the city, so I know every nook and cranny and every corner and where every brewery's at in the city. But when you can hit these suburbs and there's 4 or 5, like Geneva, Batavia combination, and or like Aurora and Batavia and St. Charles, and even LaGrange. We did a feature on the breweries in LaGrange Park, a couple issues ago, and Rockford. Rockford has Bloomington, all these different towns. It's a nice little collection of 4, 5, 6 breweries in each town, and each one has its own unique character. Great beers, great food, and good people running them too. So it's fun to bounce around, and it's not a bad gig to have. I'm not fast forwarding to fall. I'm enjoying the summer still. And but if you get a chance, we'll be posting it online. It'll be out probably in early August, the last call section. So there's still plenty of time, this summer to go outside, sit in a nice little beer garden, nice patio. And we've got a great 4-page spread in the summer issue, kind of describing where everybody else describes. We let everybody else tell what their favorites are, their favorite underrated spot for a beer outside this summer.
I might know a guy that's in this issue.
Yes.
I might know a guy that talked about a rooftop here. So if
Wait,
you're in the Lincoln Square area, you got to hit up Jeans. It's a German butcher shop, and you'll definitely know it walking down Lincoln Avenue with the big steer out in front. But their rooftop, outstanding. They have their own bratwurst and sausages that they make. Always a lot of good, like German beer. So, like I mentioned on the issue, like, hey, one in Rome, you got to do it. Normally I want to drink an Illinois beer, but if you're at a German butcher shop, I'm going to drink a German beer with their bratwurst there.
It's a great spot to like just go in and shop and get some, like you said, some, sausage and burgers and things like that. And then all of a sudden, like you can't, it's almost like an escalator. You can't stop going up to the rooftop and grabbing a beer. It's impossible. And the best part is, I mean, you're right next to Hop Butcher, right next to Half Acre. Their new tap room is just down the street. Gosh, Dovetail Beguile right there, Burning Bush, like we mentioned. So you've got 7 or 8 good breweries right around there, but that's a good place to start, especially if you're feeling the German vibes and you got German, blood running through your veins like you and I do.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, even like, their butcher counter and deli counter, they have this, and it's not expensive, and they do it in-house. It's like a bacon wrapped double smoked pork, and I'll get that like sliced and make sandwiches, and that's phenomenal. And it's something like, I haven't had it in a couple months, so maybe it's gone up like everything else, but it was like $5-6 a pound. You're going to pay more for budding or whatever. I mean, so get that at Jeans. Yeah, absolutely.
I know, you might as well go with something unique, and I mean, and that's the best, that's one of those spots where you could have something to grill out. You can have some put on crackers, and and make a, sandwich out of it 3 days later, and yeah, it's great, and it always goes so well with beer. I mean, sausage, cheese, and beer, what more can a guy ask for?
Yeah, and I know they have, like, in their pre-made counter, they have some, like, great schnitzel too, so sometimes it's like, yeah, I can go for a schnitzel, so yeah, put that in the cart as well.
Well, speaking of those, that last call section, and I just glanced down and my magazine happened to be open to it. I wasn't planning this, but right down the street from Jeans, and you had a great mention there. But Bitter Pops, if people haven't been to Bitter Pops, and Sheffield's right down the street from Wrigley Field, but Bitter Pops is on Lincoln Avenue. One of the best burgers, one of the best smash burgers you'll ever have. Great beer list usually. The Long Room, that was one of the. I remember having, not to get too nostalgic on you, but I remember having a left-hand milk stout many, many years ago, and I had it in Colorado hiking with my brother, visiting him, and came back, and I kinda stumbled in the long room late one night, and I said, "Do you have left-hand milk stout on draft?" And it was like this aha moment, like a light shine down from above, and that was one of my first, kinda indoctrinations many years ago into what true craft beer was about. But there's a couple, gosh, I'm trying to think of all the, right down the street from what you were talking about. There's just Eris isn't too far away, great
Yeah.
place, cider, great food, great place to sit outside. And my wife mentioned she wanted to be in the issue, and I let her at Green Street Smoked Meats. If you've ever been down there in the West Loop, a lot of great breweries down there too, but it's this neat little barbecue spot. It feels like you're in Austin, Texas, Nashville. It's like a cobblestone street right in the middle of the West Loop. And you go down there, it doesn't even look like there's a restaurant down there. And all of a sudden, they've got to have, I'll bet they have 20, 25 beers on draft. Yeah, and you can, you buy a big platter of meat by the pound and, sit with 3 or 4 friends and they got the string lights going and cement floors, and it's really a cool spot. Green Street Smoked Meats in the West Loop.
Oh, I need to check that out, absolutely.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Try the brisket.
All right, I'm there, you sold me. Well, Trent, I appreciate it. You could pick up Illinois Brewing all over at every great brewery in Chicago, tap rooms. If you're an Imbibe member from the Illinois Craft Brewers Guild, you get it mailed right to your doorstep. The website's illinoisbrewing.com.
IllinoisBrewery.com. You can sign up for our email newsletter. It comes out every other Thursday. Not spammy at all. It's got a lot of good content from the magazine and deals in the area, events, highlights on events and things like that. And IllinoisBrewing.com is, you can look at over 3 years worth of archives, and a lot of it's, timely information, but when you hit those features on the breweries and you get the, the real sense of what they're all about and what they're doing right, that's a timeless thing. So check out 3 years worth of archives at IllinoisBrewing.com.
Yeah, it's funny too, because like my elbow's messed up. I got a UCL issue problem right now. So I'm working at just like a desk, and I usually have like the magazine, or I have another beer magazine because I'm not always busy. And people are like looking at the magazine, and it's like, I'm like, I could get another copy here. You want to take this and look at it for your flight? It's got everything you want to know. Breweries all over the state. It's not just Chicago based. So if you think, if you're downstate or upstate, it's got everything in here all over the state, places to eat. You name it about Illinois beer, it's in the magazine. So pick up Illinois Brewing Magazine. Trent, thank you so much. And before I let you go, I'm going to need to get a meet. You're going to have to like set this up with Hand of Fate. And I don't know if I ever told you the story about Hand of Fate. I was the original owner of handoffatebrewing.com.
Wow.
Years ago, as a home brewer, and we all thought 10, 15 years ago, oh, my beers are so good, I'm going to start a brewery. And then you realize I don't have any money and my beers aren't that good, but I had the domain and I had it for like a couple of years. I just forgot about it. And they opened up a brewery. My buddy's like, there's a brewery downstate that is called Hand of Fate. I'm like, oh, no shit. So I'm looking, and like their website is something different because I had the damn domain name. So as soon as I saw they had it, I let it expire. I sent them an email. I'm like, listen, I really apologize, but one of these days I need to get down there and talk to them, and they need to change their web domain because they could have handoffatebrewing.com right now.
Well, you know what you should have done? You should have negotiated, 4 cases of beer
Yeah.
per month for
Yeah.
the right. No, I shouldn't say that.
Yeah.
But Peter, Hand of Fate, Petersburg, Illinois. And well, yeah, we have listings of every Illinois Craft Brewers Guild member, which is about 230, 240 breweries are listed and included in our magazine each and every time. So, yeah, I purposely, I remember when I was launching the magazine and somebody kind of cornered me at one of the first events. They said, "This isn't going to be Chicago Brewing, is it?" And I said, "Look at the name. We're covering everybody." And, we've, not that long ago, we did, articles on Springfield and Decatur. We got a thing on Peoria coming up and Evergreen, in Metamora, Illinois, and, Emancipation and Fairbury. So I know too many names out there, but yeah, I would the whole goal is to leave no stone unturned. A lot of good work being done across the state, and everybody deserves, a fair shake. So it's been fun.
Absolutely. Well, Trent, I appreciate it so much, brother. You got to check out IllinoisBrewing.com, or better yet, go to your favorite establishments and pick one up there. If they don't have it, tell them to order some more. Trent will load up the minivan and drive there and drop some new issues off. But Trent, I appreciate it, brother. Thank you. And let's drink some more Illinois beer.
All right, Dave. Sounds good, man. Thanks.
All right, the Illinois beer I'm going to have right now is from Brothership. They're out of Mokina, Illinois. This is their Terp Trail, double dry hopped West Coast IPA with hops from Oregon. They use Mosaic, Cryo Mosaic, Chinook, and Simcoe in this. 6.3% alcohol. Let's give it a whirl. Pours really nice, good foam, beautiful color here. Nice and West Coast. You could see your hand through it. I like it. Smells really good. You get all of those hops there. I'm picking up a lot of the Chinook here. I think it smells phenomenal. That's fantastic. Big hop flavors that I'm getting here. Nice bitterness at the back. It doesn't list the IBUs on the can, but I'm really liking this so far. This is really good. Love the bitterness here. Love the flavor of the hops. Yeah, I'm just kind of looking at the can as I'm talking, and I don't see an IBU listed, but I do need to thank them because they list right on the can, lactose free. So Brothership, thank you for that. I'm a big fan of the can art here. It kind of has a ugly Christmas sweater kind of like type of vibe to it. Nice 8-bit artwork. I like everything Brothership has put out. Everything I've had from them has been really good. Wish I can get more of it here, or I just need to drive my ass to Mokina, Illinois, and pick up some directly from the source. If you see anything from Brothership, put it in the cart. It's that good. Big fan of them. Let me have one more sip of this before we close this out. And I'm really digging it. Kind of has a good finish, good mouthfeel to this as well. It's a winner. So if you see this Terp Trail, you know what to do. Put it in the cart. All right, the next one I'm going to have from the great state of Illinois is from Old Irving Brewing, which I talk about a lot. But this isn't a beer. This is a hop water called Chicago. This just came out recently. I happened to be popping in there to grab something on my way home from work one day and saw this, so I had to grab it. I did a video on it before, but I think it's that good. I want to talk about it a little bit more on the podcast. So it's a non-alcoholic hop water, Chicago from Old Irving. Let's crack it open. Chicago has a beautiful color. It's clear because it's hop water. There's no foam because it's water, but it looks really nice. It looks very refreshing. It's very effervescent. The smell is good. I like the hop aroma that I'm getting from this. It smells really good. It's absolutely delicious. Like the flavors there. They use citric acid, which I've talked about before on the show. In my opinion, and take it for whatever it's worth, I think that brings out a little bit more in the hop waters where you don't get that raw hop taste that you do with some others. This helps a lot and makes this more palatable. I really like the flavors here. I don't know which hops they use for Chicago, but it's really good. It has a wonderful flavor. I'm going to have some more here. Getting like some citrus, some mango notes to it, maybe a little melon, but I just think it's really good. And there's like national brands out there doing hop waters that to me are just mediocre at best. This one is great. They don't have any weird flavors. Like some of them have a berry flavor and all this other stuff. You don't need that. This is just perfect on its own. The local brands do it better. I hope Old Irving puts this out all the time because I would drink this all the time. I think it's good when you don't want a beer, but you want something that has a little more flavor than just water, or, you know, you don't want to drink a LaCroix or something like that. If you see this, hopefully this will be out all around where you could pick it up wherever you pick up Old Irving beers, but I think Chicago was fantastic. So if you see Chicago from Old Irving and you want a hop water, you definitely got to grab this one. This one is fantastic. All right, that's going to wrap things up for this edition of Beer in Front. I thank you for listening. Want to thank once again Trent Modulin, the publisher of Illinois Brewing Magazine, for coming on and talking about the summer 2025 edition. Be sure to pick that up at your favorite brewery or bottle shop. Have a great week, everyone. I'll talk to you next week. And remember, sometimes the beer in front of you is the best one yet.